We are back. This is recap of college football week 6. Douglas, you're, you're terrible.
I know,
You're
dude.
terrible.
It was bad.
Douglas, he was on suicide watch on Saturday, I think. I can't
Yes.
confirm that, but 5-11-1 is the record on the show in that week.
That's got to be by far my worst in college, right?
You hit Ohio State
I did.
in college.
It's got to be my worst, like
You went
percent-wise.
5-10 week 2.
Yeah, it's worse now by a little bit.
Yeah, that was your worst weekend.
Pain.
It's 31%. Your season total, though, 46, 46, and 1.
Okay, so we're still
But
floating by the skin of our.
the real sad thing is your number one thing, your claim to fame on the show, your best bets. You go down, you lose NC State -3. Did you have a chance to see the game?
No, I mean I caught some highlights. I saw it was 17-3 at one
Mhm.
point, and I said, okay. And then you texted me and said you killed this team.
Yeah. You faded them all year long, and then the one time you bet on them, they came out and laid an egg. I mean, they won. They ended up winning, but they were if they had played half decent in the first half, they'd have killed Florida State.
It's just a shame, it's just this is not my week. Hopefully the NFL treats me a little better, but by the looks of it, if anyone's gonna, see this before some games, fade me. Fade me.
I went 14-12-1. I didn't have a great weekend either. Let's see here. Michigan, I'll get into Michigan, but Michigan, I feel bad because like their coach, like that coach collapsing, they were never going to cover after that.
Yeah.
So that was a tough one, but no, 14-12-1. That brings my season total to 105, 66 and 1. I did hit my best bet, Georgia Southern over 67.5. We'll get into that as well. And with that being said, Douglas, you have anyone you want to shout out real fast?
Oh, I'm gonna shout out Pitt actually, because they looked dead in the water for a little bit as far as the spread went. I mean, they looked like they were gonna win the game.
Well, they were down 16-7 at one point in that game.
Yeah.
Which was crazy.
So it looked dead in the water. And
hold on, was that Barkley? Was that Barkley that just scored that?
I don't know.
Tell me that was Barkley got in there. Tell me Barkley got in there. Hold on. It's the fourth quarter of the. It was not.
Who was it?
The fourth quarter. No, it was the third guy. I think Barkley's hurt, which is going to kill that all in a dream I sent you last night. But we're just for anyone watching right now. We are watching the end of the Giants Packers game. I had the Giants +8, and I had Barkley to score in a parlay. So, but it looks like Giants +8 is looking pretty good right now. It's 20 to. Oh well. Now it's 20-20. But go ahead, Doug. Let's get into your shout out. Sorry.
No, yeah, I'm gonna shout out Pitt. And by Pitt, Izzy Abanikanda. My God, that kid is something.
He hits the open field and he pulls away from everybody.
LaShawn McCoy quoted a tweet of him breaking through and just shooting up for like that 70-yard run. And he said he's got run from the cop speed.
Yeah.
And dude, I mean, he is unbelievably fast. Yeah. Is he the best back in the ACC?
In the ACC.
I don't know much about Clemson or like who the running backs are.
Right now, he might be. I'm trying. I don't think Wake Forest has anybody. Florida State, no one's coming to mind. That's Sui Okongabe from NC State's not bad. Will Shipley is a good college back. I don't think he's going to be an NFL running back, but no, I'd probably put him up there right with anybody in the ACC for sure.
Yeah, I'll shout out Pitt though, because it was 17-16 at half, and I needed him to cover 14.5, and Izzy Abanikanda did it himself practically. So shout out O-line, first of all.
Yeah, thank you.
Shout out Pitt O-line. But Izzy and the O-line made things happen. So shout out those guys.
Yeah, I have 3 shout outs. First, UCLA. I nailed that game. absolutely nailed that game. They should have won by 17. Utah scored a touchdown with like 30 seconds left. It didn't really account for anything. UCLA, they are a top 10 team in the country. Them versus USC is going to be a fantastic game. I cannot wait for that. DTR looks like for the like I feel like for the past 3 or 4 years, people have like, okay, DTR, yeah, he's a good player, but he probably won't play in the NFL. This year, he looks like an NFL quarterback.
I would agree.
I feel like in the past he's relied a lot on his athleticism to make up for like some mental deficiencies. This year he is getting the ball out quick. He knows who he's throwing to. He knows where the mismatches are. He knows where the openings are. That offense, when he's playing like that, they might be very, very tough to beat, and their defense is super underrated. So shout out UCLA for making me look like a genius. Georgia State over was my best bet. It hit with 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Was never in doubt. These defenses are both horrible. And lastly, shout out UAB. Did it for the kids.
They did.
They blew the doors off at Middle Tennessee, 41-14. I feel like Middle Tennessee, last week they played UTSA, who's really tough, and then they played UAB this week. I feel like they might not win another game after beating Miami, which will be hilarious. They go into Miami and beat a Power 5 team, and then they're going to lose all their Conference USA games, which would be very funny.
That would just be such a bad feeling.
Moving on to the airing of grievances. I'm sure, Douglas, you have your fair share of these.
The tradition of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now you're going to hear about it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
To get on, but I think we both are going to get on this one, so I'll go first.
Please do.
Air Force.
Yep.
Oh
yeah.
Air Force.
Yep.
Listen, thank you for your service is the first thing I'm going to say to all these guys that are playing for Air Force. Thank you. Secondly, stop fumbling the damn football. When you run the Service Academy offense, you run the triple option, and your main goal before even scoring points is the chew up clock to make the game shorter, because you don't usually have the athletes of the teams that you're playing.
Yeah.
So you're just trying to chew up that clock. When you turn the ball over, that defeats the entire purpose of doing that. So it's not even just this week. Last week they turned the ball over too. And when they lost to Wyoming, they turned the ball over. You cannot turn the ball over. That's what's been killing Air Force. They're a very talented team when they play well. When they turn the ball over, they are a very, very easy team to beat. And that goes with any service academy. If they're turning the ball over, it's done.
I'm just sick to my stomach with that. I mean, not only look, I get it. If you don't cover, that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're given 10.5 points. Okay. If you do not cover, fine. We're talking about Utah State here. I mean, this ain't. We're
Utah
not talking
State
like
might have their number. They beat them last year.
I mean, what is going on
with a backup quarterback? I know that was not really ever going to be my lock of the week, but if I had to pick a spread lock of the week, that might have been it, because I liked a couple overs this week.
Yeah,
if I had to pick a spread, that would have been it. That was just everything was pointing towards Air Force. So that just shows you college football. Rogers almost got crushed.
Cooper Legas is his name, I think, the quarterback from Utah State.
Well, hey, if I'd have known he was a wrestler, I definitely would have bet on Utah State. That kid's scrappy as all hell.
18 for 23, 215, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. So essentially, he threw 5 incomplete passes. 1 was an interception, and then he threw 4 others.
Yeah. Well, he runs the ball out too. He probably was second in his team in carries.
Yeah, he had 13 carries for 76 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
What are we doing? And Air Force, I know they don't throw the ball. They run 1,000 times a game. But my God, they stink.
How lucky is Utah State? I mean, that's just like an embarrassment of riches. Oh, my goodness. The Giants are going to lose. Wait, never mind. The Packers had a punt that hit one of the gunners for the Giants, and the Packers almost recovered it. And that definitely would have been it for the Giants.
I just need them to cover 2.5.
You just need the Packers?
Yeah, I made an alt spread. I made that. Remember, I told you I made like my alt teaser.
Yeah,
I just need the Packers to win by a field goal.
The Giants had the ball. It's tied in the fourth. Yeah, Air Force. It's
terrible. They suck.
Utah State. The embarrassment of riches. Their last year they had the Mountain West Conference Player of the Year as their quarterback, and now they have a kid coming in that covers the spread against BYU, which I don't really think BYU is anything special, but it covers the spread against them,
Air Force,
and then outright beats Air Force. I want to look at this conference standings because this team, if they can get behind this guy, they might have a backdoor shot at this Mountain West. The Mountain West is wide open right now. I mean, they're fourth in the Mountain Division, but
I was going to say they're 1-1 in the conference. It says here
there's 6 conference games left, and I mean they play Colorado State, who's nothing special.
That's a bad team.
Wyoming,
Colorado State beat Nevada.
The toughest game on their schedule is going to be San Jose State. I don't know if they'll beat San Jose State, but the 5 of the 6, I could see them winning the rest, all of those. So this quarterback might be something to keep your eye on especially if they get a big spread somewhere. But
just makes me sick.
Do you have anyone else you want to?
Air out.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I probably got 10 of them if you really want me to go through all of them. Washington State, man, I hyped you guys up. What are we doing? What are we doing? 14 points in the second quarter and you don't score again. I saw that second quarter. I said, okay, all right, we're in business. No.
I
get it. I figured they weren't gonna win, but dude, cover the fucking spread. Like
they're just not the type. They're not the type of offense that can beat USC. They
ran the ball so successfully too, which is crazy.
They did, but that's not who they are. So they're not going to do that as much as they should. You need a big offensive line that can just punish play after play after play and just not even worry about
their throat.
And like you gotta, it's got to be like 70% run in your offense. It can't be a 50-50 or you will lose to them.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, Utah next week is a team that runs the ball, so that'll be interesting. My last one.
No. Utah is dead in the water in my book.
Think?
Yeah, I think they're dead in the water.
I don't know.
I know UCLA is good, but I think they're dead in the water.
My last airing of grievances goes to Brian Kelly. You absolute fraud, Brian Kelly. You've come down to Louisiana and you're going to ruin this program. You're going to suck all the money out of it with your big contract, but you're going to suck the life out of the program too, which is fine by me. Auburn has to play LSU too, so it's definitely fine by me. But this offense is so bad. You get a kid like Jaden Daniels to come over from Arizona State, who in the transfer portal was probably a top after Caleb Williams, and now he's probably above Rattler in my opinion. Like he was one of the top 3-4 transfer quarterbacks out there.
Yeah,
and Barkley. Oh my goodness, these Giants might win. They might win.
How much time's left?
9 minutes. But I mean, if they get up a score, they're not gonna blow an 8-point cover.
Oh no, they'll cover for you probably. Definitely.
So let me see here. We were talking about LSU.
Yes.
Absolutely pathetic, this offensive performance that they put out against Tennessee. Jaden Daniels needs to be unleashed in this offense. Stop trying to run the ball. Let Jaden Daniels sit back and make plays. 13 points against the Tennessee defense that gives up 27 a game, and you're at home. You're at home. Pitt put up more points against Tennessee than LSU did. Pitt's offense isn't great besides Abanikanda if you're just running them down the throat of somebody. Oh my goodness, this is so pathetic. 2 turnovers at home. By the way, it was kind of like that beginning of the game thing though. That I talked about with the Bucks. Where did you see the opening kickoff of the game?
What against
LSU? Tennessee?
No, I didn't.
LSU kicked it to Tennessee kicked it to like the LSU 25-yard line. The idiot comes up from the back line to catch it, hits him right in the chest, bounces 15 yards forward, and Tennessee falls on it.
Okay.
It was just like I didn't think I liked it for the over because I thought, okay, Tennessee's going to be in good field position. They score fast. They did score fast. They scored with over 13 minutes still left in the first quarter, but LSU. I mean, shout out Tennessee for getting 40 points.
Yeah.
I think I only needed 25 or 12 more at the end of the game, but I mean LSU with 13 points, just pathetic. Brian Kelly, you're an absolute joke, really. What has Brian Kelly done in his coaching career that
Nothing.
he deserves respect? Not
Notre Dame got overrated
he
and underachieved.
Yeah, fine. He did fine at Cincinnati. Guess what? They got him a Notre Dame job. Notre Dame doesn't fire coaches when they should. That's been their MO for a long time. They've had long-lasting head coaches. They're like the Steelers. They don't like to fire head coaches. Kelly should have been fired there a long time ago. Besides the 1 year with Manti Te'o, they were absolutely nothing. He is a bad coach, and LSU got sold a bag of goods that's crap because Brian Kelly will never win down there. He's not good, and he's not going to be able to do the things he needs to do. He's not good in recruiting either.
No, he's not.
So, moving on to frauds of the week.
God, that's amazing. You are so talented.
Huh?
Wait a second. Something's not right here. You were just making it look like you were playing. You're a phony. Hey, this guy's a great big phony.
I have a pretty strong one here, Douglas. Do you have anyone you want to give that fraud label to?
I'm going to give it to LSU, actually. I think LSU is my fraud of the week for me. Look, it's a 3-point spread. I expect this game to be reasonably close. They started to come around. I know Tennessee's a solid football team. I get it. Hendon Hooker's a beast, first of all.
Yeah.
I think he's very good.
I know you're high on Stroud. If the season ended today,
yeah,
and I got a Heisman vote, Hooker would get my Heisman vote.
I don't blame you. No, I mean, I texted you yesterday. I said he threw the best deep ball, college or pro, that I've seen all year so far yesterday to Jalen Hyatt. It was beautiful. The best ball I've seen. And for them to just get in there at home, mind you, LSU is at home, people, and just let Tennessee do that to them. And there's no fight, no heart, no dignity, no pride. Brian Kelly's a jerk off.
I did tell you before when we were breaking down that game and the big game previews, I said, I don't like the fact that this game's a noon game. There's something about Death Valley at night that seems impenetrable that maybe like only Alabama could go in there and win. During the day, yikes.
Yeah.
There's just a different energy at night down there. So
just ridiculous. But my fraud of the week right now,
Barkley's
number
in.
one, yes. LSU. Gotta be LSU.
No, I like it. My fraud of the week is Cincinnati. Cincinnati, you're a fake team. Okay? You're basically they beat USF by 4. Their performance yesterday basically annulled their championship run last year. Their run of the college football playoff should not count anymore after how they played yesterday.
Oh, They
were 28-point favorites at home against USF. It was the type of win where they played so badly and still won, they shouldn't be ranked anymore. They're ranked 25th. They should not be ranked. This is not a good team. I'm hating to say this because they over the past couple of years I've been hyping them up, and maybe it's just a down year in terms of upperclassmen in this conference. The American Conference is not good.
No, it's not.
It's Navy beat Tulsa, who I thought Tulsa was good. Cincinnati barely beat USF. East Carolina looks good one game. The next game they lose to a bad Navy team. This conference is really, really bad right now, and it's only going to get worse when Cincinnati leaves. Cincinnati and Houston, I should say. Houston and Memphis, too. We didn't even get to them on Friday. Memphis, you had that game in the bag. Memphis is the only promising-looking team in this conference, and they lost in an absolute disgraceful way.
I think they let up 26 points in the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So
then they gave, an onside kick, which the way they had like 7 people in the front line, and then nobody else was behind them. The ball went high. There was no one to run up and catch it for Memphis, and it went right to a Houston player. It was really bad by Memphis. My fraud of the week, it's Cincinnati, but it's the American Conference. The American Athletic Conference is not good right now, and they are very overhyped. Moving on to that one is on me. I'll go first here.
Please do.
Michigan, -22. It was a look ahead spot for Michigan. They're hosting Penn State next week, so I get why they would be looking ahead. But is it really on me? Because I think they'd have blown this team out by 40 if it wasn't for that coach. Now, listen, I from everything I've heard that he's doing fine, which is good, and obviously that's more important. But they scored on their first drive. They scored 7 points in their first drive. They scored 3 the rest of the first half.
Yeah,
That the coach collapsed after their first drive. I think that had some direct correlation with the rest of how that first half going. They ended up winning the game by 21. All they needed was one more score in that first half, and they'd have covered it. So it is on me that I gave it out in a look ahead spot, but I don't think that's why they didn't cover. I think it had to do more with the coach collapsing, but hope he's doing all right and he's back because I probably will be betting them against Penn State next week.
Yeah, my one that's on me. We're gonna be taking the Duke Blue Devils here versus Georgia Tech, and I thought this would be a really bad trap spot for Georgia Tech.
It would
They
be.
just
I
beat
thought it was
Pitt.
going to be a letdown spot, very much so.
They just beat Pitt. I thought they'd be high on the hog, but maybe this team's starting to put things together after firing that coach. I don't know.
I don't think their defense is bad.
Well, you got to think those are 2 quality wins. What was Pitt's record? 4-1 when they played.
3-1 when they played.
Pitt was okay. So Pitt was 3-1. Duke was 4-1. Those are 2 pretty solid wins for Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Shout out Georgia Tech. I'm gonna quit touching games they're involved in for the better part of this, unless they're overs. I won't be betting against them right now. And Duke, I appreciate you hitting the best bet for me last week. I'm done with you, you stink. You guys suck. Okay, suck. Terrible. Absolutely horrible.
My one
Riley Leonard, 20 for 41, $136.
Yeah, I think Georgia Tech, their defense kind of impressed me against Pitt. They looked really good, but then again, I figured okay, Pitt just had a letdown game, and that's why they look good. No, they're just probably a good defense. My last one big takeaway: Oklahoma fans. Oklahoma fans are so disrespectful. I feel like, and I'm not saying I shouldn't say I feel like. I know for a fact that over the past 10 years when Oklahoma was dominating that Red River Showdown rivalry, those Oklahoma fans were in those stands all 4 quarters talking crap to the Texas fans. We're this, we're that, we're going to go to the Natty. Yeah, Lincoln Riley's going to take us there. Baker, Kyler, Rattler, Caleb Williams, let's go. They left at halftime of this one. Did you see the Cotton Bowl? It was half filled and the half was orange. These fans for Oklahoma should be ashamed of themselves. I hope their program never comes back.
Okay.
Those fans are pathetic. It was 21-0. Yeah, your team probably had no shot to actually win the game, but to leave, it wasn't just fourth quarter leaving. That crowd was half gone at halftime. They were so out of there. They're done with it, which I kind of understand. Brent Venables, I don't think he's a very good head coach, and I don't think that team's very good, but you can't leave that game. You can leave, next week they play at home against Kansas. If Kansas is up 35-0 at halftime or something, leave that game. You can't leave the Red River Shootout. It's the one game where you have a national, well, not the one game where they have a national, but it's one of the 3 where they're playing on national TV. They need to be there.
Just suck it up.
Just it's bad, but it just looks so bad for the entire program and the fan base. So my one big takeaway is that those fans are pathetic. They're fickle. They're only there when things are going good. And I hope Auburn fans are never like that, because that would make me very disappointed. But yep, Oklahoma fans probably just die. I guess that's the only way I can put it. Just die, because I was so, and I have another note on this game. I'm so happy for Texas.
Oh yeah,
I'm so happy for Texas, because it was I know Texas is a power, and it's you don't really root for the powers.
Yeah,
Oklahoma's been a power, and it was nice to see Texas be the little brother for a while and then beat them. So I hope Texas does that for a while, because even when Texas was getting beat up in that game, guess what? Their fans were there for all 4 quarters.
Yeah. No, that's a really good one. My one big takeaway here: Mississippi State's real. This team is tough. Mike Leach and company,
Mm-hmm.
they're good. I don't like that they're rated or ranked 23rd in the country. I'm sure it will fluctuate a little bit. It'll tweak up. But, dude, I think they might be top 10 team in the country. They can score, and they got a defense, and they're great coach. I love this team. I'm going to be betting them for the foreseeable future. How they lost to LSU in week 3 is mind-boggling to me after what I just saw from LSU yesterday. That being said, though, they got Kentucky this weekend, and then Alabama the following weekend, Auburn the next weekend.
That's a kill.
Then Georgia.
Yeah.
Some nobody, and then they finish out the season with Ole Miss.
I saw a stat before the season that said Mike Leach, when he has a quarterback for at least 3 years, every time on that third year, they win at least 9 games.
Dude, he's a hell of a coach. I love Mike Leach.
Which might, I mean, they run the air raid. I mean, Will Rogers threw the ball 48 times in that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, but
that's
no Jefferson for Arkansas hurt.
Oh, for sure. It definitely did.
But yeah, I mean, 568 total yards. That offense is scary when, like, it's kind of like the complete opposite of trying to stop the triple option.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to spread you out. They're going to run at least 4 routes every play, if not 5. And you have to cover that. You either have to get home on a pass rush or try to cover them up enough where, you know, it's a coverage sack.
Yeah,
basically
absolutely.
every play that demands a lot. As someone who's played defensive line, that takes a lot out of you.
Yeah,
rushing the passer every play will suck the energy out of you a lot. So, I think it's kind of genius what he does because no one else I mean, I guess you could say Ole Miss kind of runs an air raid a little bit, but they're still much more run heavy than Mississippi State.
Yeah, I'm just really sorry, muted myself by accident there. I'm just really impressed with Mississippi State right now. I want to see how, I mean, now here comes the beef of the schedule. So this is where you either stand up and pee or you sit down and put your little training pants on with your little diaper. So we're going to see if they're going to pee in the toilet or use the potty training toilet here. I don't know how they're going to do. You want to go through their schedule quickly here and tell me win or loss?
Mm-hmm.
Mississippi State at Kentucky, 7:30 on October 15th.
I think Will Levis will be back, and I think it's a better bounce back spot for Kentucky, so I'll take Kentucky.
Okay. Following week, the 22nd, they head to Alabama. The time is not determined.
That is also a loss.
They go, Auburn comes to Mississippi State.
They blow Auburn out by 37.
Georgia comes to Mississippi State.
They beat Georgia. They shocked the world. They beat Georgia.
Wow.
Right now.
ETSU comes to Mississippi State.
East Tennessee State. Yeah, that's going to be another win.
And then to cap off the end of the year, somewhere around the time of Thanksgiving at 7 p.m. on ESPN, they are heading to Ole Miss.
They win that game as well.
Okay. Very interesting. Look at that. So what do you got them finishing? 9-3?
9-3. Yeah.
Yeah, 9-3. Very nice.
We're going to wrap this up with a week. Actually, let me type this up. Week 7 look ahead. There's 7 games I noted. If there's any other ones you want to touch, you can bring them up. But
okay.
State Penn going to Michigan.
Oh man, I don't.
That's going to be. I mean, I like Michigan. I mean, I don't think I saw the line yet, but Michigan I think has been slightly underachieving in the Big Ten schedule so far. I don't know if that's because they've just been waiting to play State Penn, but they got to make a statement. If Michigan wants to be, I think they're number 4 right now.
They are.
If they want to make, they need to make a statement. They need to win this game by 10 plus. And I think Harbaugh kind of knows that because right now, the way you look at it, Clemson can go undefeated and still stay in that 5th spot. So so they basically have to stay right there. I think it's easier. Like if they lose to Penn State, they probably go back to what? 8, 9, 10.
I could see something close to a flip. Penn State won't jump to 4, but I could see Michigan dropping to 10.
And then Michigan, even if you end up beating Ohio State at the end of the year,
That's
you
not
still might.
happening.
But I'm just saying, even if you do, you might fall. You might be too far out of it by then, based off the rankings, because Clemson could sneak in.
Yep.
Ohio State might end up in a weird 3-way tie. Might go to the Big Ten championship game. Like, you could be out of it if you lose to anybody. It's just one of those tough spots for Michigan. I think they have to make a statement in this game and win by at least 10 plus.
I think that they win the game. I don't think they win by 10 plus. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be really close. I'm leaning towards Penn State on the spread. If it's anything higher than like 5.5, I'm probably taking Penn State.
Let me check. The only thing that makes me nervous about it for Michigan is that, again, this is another place like LSU. It is a day game. I like it more if it's at night. I think the crowd's a little bit more alive at night. I don't know if they're going to be as loud.
No, it's a noon.
Yeah, it's a noon. No, I said that's what I said.
Okay, yeah.
I would like it more if it was at night.
Opening spread is Michigan giving Penn State 7.5.
Yeah, I might be taking Michigan. We'll see how that line moves, but I like Michigan at that line. Game number 2, Kansas at Oklahoma. Oklahoma off one of the worst losses, I'm guessing, in program history. Kansas off a tough loss. The end of that game was so heartbreaking. A couple missed calls led to them not being able to get a chance. Plus, the backup quarterback played fine without Jalen Daniels. So that tells you that that's not just a one-man show out there. That is a good team.
Yep.
They have to play a good system. So Kansas, I don't know if you're looking at lines right now for that one, but I would think probably. Kansas. When was the last time Kansas was a favorite going into Norman, Oklahoma? I have to guess that they're at least a touchdown favorite.
I cannot find the line for that
even
game
with a
yet.
Even with a backup quarterback, I have to imagine that they're pretty hefty favorites.
Yeah, I don't see a line for that one yet, so we will have that to them eventually, but it's not out on FanDuel, at least of right now.
And then easily the game of the week. Easily the game of the week, 3:30 on CBS. Alabama goes to Tennessee, or number 8 Tennessee. Wow, this game is going to be electric. This is what Tennessee's been building for since Heupel got there, is to be able to beat a Nick Saban Alabama team.
Yeah.
In the third Saturday in October. So I don't know. I'll see the line, but if the line's bigger than 10, I kind of like Tennessee.
I like Tennessee as well, I think.
If the line's bigger than 10, I would like Tennessee. If it's under, I'm going to be questionable. But moving on, Oklahoma State, TCU. I think right now, I mean, we'll see how Texas comes along, but those are easily the 2 highest ranked teams in the Big 12, and I think it's going to be an interesting game. Oklahoma State's defense versus that TCU offense. How does TCU handle Spencer Sanders running the ball? I think that's one of the better games this week. USC at Utah. You think Utah's dead?
Yeah, I think they're dead after that loss, and I think USC right now they have a money line pick'em. It's like a pick'em on here. USC's actually the underdog in this right now if you bet them on the money line.
Yeah, it's going to be a live crowd in Utah. It's going to be an 8:00 game here, so I think that's 5 out there. I think the Giants just won.
No. Did they win?
I told you.
Did they win?
What did I tell you? This Giants team's for real.
Did they actually win?
It's minute 2 left. Green Bay has 2 timeouts, so but they can basically.
What are they up by?
7. They can basically. I told you.
Hey, it ain't over, dude. That's
Rodgers was 20
that's
points.
That's a bad man with that.
Yeah, hey, that's a bad man, but guess what? He's in London and he ain't up for it. I told you that. I told you he would not be himself in London.
Yet. Let it finish first. Don't jinx yourself.
2 more games here. Clemson at Florida State.
They are 7.5 point favorites. Clemson is.
Clemson. I mean, they really had to beat up on Boston College on red bandana night. Clemson. Dabo's a terrorist.
Okay.
Dabo supports,
Al Qaeda.
Yeah. Well, I didn't name drop. So.
Well, I did. Any of them watching? Take that right there, bud.
And lastly, a Big Ten matchup that is being slept on, I think, a little bit here. Minnesota at Illinois. Illinois, I called that they would beat Iowa yesterday. They did. Minnesota at Illinois I think this one decides the Big Ten West.
Yeah, it probably
They're
is
two
going
very
to.
similar teams in that they just run the ball and play great defense.
That being said, I love Minnesota here.
What,
Love Minnesota.
do you have a
here.
line? Is there a
No,
lineup for that one yet?
no, I can't find the line. I would take them given not too many, 5.5 probably.
Let me see if I can find.
Yeah, FanDuel does not have that line out yet.
Yeah, I can't find one either. So, I'm looking at the pick center for ESPN though, and they have Minnesota as 2-point favorites.
Okay,
So
I would take Minnesota on that.
It's going to be an interesting game. Illinois, I think they've just Brett Bielema, he's implemented his style there. They run the ball, play defense. Only thing that worries me is Tommy DeVito did get hurt in that game for Illinois. So if they're starting their backup quarterback, it's that could be a scary situation against that Minnesota defense. But that was it. That was the Week 6 college football recap. We will be back. We'll have our NFL recap. Check that one out. We will also be back early in this week with our episode 13, breaking down different parts of college football and NFL football.
Yep.
The Giants, how is it third down? How did they throw a pass?
I have no idea.
What just happened? Why does Green Bay still have a timeout? I think the Giants might blow this thing, but
they're going to.
We gotta I'm gonna see what happened here.
To hell with those Giants. Well, guys, while Trey is just in complete disarray.
All right. No. We're fine. That was NFL Network.
Okay.
Sorry, NFL didn't take the timeout away. Go ahead.
Thank you guys so much for watching. And as Trey alluded to, we will be back with our NFL recap and our NFL and college episodes later this week coming. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and share and subscribe and follow us on TikTok and Twitter. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys. We'll see you later.